In just 72 hours, a single Antarctic fishing vessel pulled up 300 colossal squids from waters colder than ice itself, -2 degrees Celsius beneath the Southern Ocean, each one the size of a car, worth nearly $40, $000 apiece. It looks unbelievable, but behind every catch lies freezing storms, 30-foot waves, and human determination to survive one of the most brutal fishing zones on Earth. Far below the roaring winds of the Southern Ocean, off the coast of Antarctica's Ross Sea, only a handful of vessels are licensed to hunt the world's largest invertebrate, the colossal squid Messinicotuthis hamiltoni. These creatures live at depths beyond 2,000 meters, where sunlight never reaches. For these crews, it's not just fishing, it's a battle for survival and livelihood. The squid meat and tentacles are prized delicacies in Japan, South Korea, and the U.S., fetching millions in global export value. Every trip contributes to a $12 million Antarctic squid economy, a niche but fiercely competitive frontier of the deep-sea industry. Colossal squid are caught as bycatch in Antarctic toothfish, Disostechus mawsoni longline fisheries, not by direct trawling. The process begins with industrial longline systems designed to operate at depths between 200 and 500 meters, where water temperatures remain around -8 degrees Celsius year-round. Each longline is made of high-tensile monofilament or braided steel line, extending 30 to 40 kilometers in total length. Along this main line, several thousand branch lines, snoods are clipped at intervals of 1.5 to 2 meters, each fitted with a strong circle hook, sizes 14/0, 16/0, baited with whole mackerel, herring, or Antarctic silverfish. The bait emits chemical and electrical cues that attract both toothfish and large cephalopods. Deployment takes roughly 6 to 8 hours. The line is released gradually from the stern as the vessel moves forward at a steady 2 knots, ensuring even spacing and minimizing tangles. Weighted sinkers and electronic depth sensors ensure the gear reaches the correct depth. Once the line is fully set, it soaks for 6–18 hours, depending on weather, current, and ice drift. During hauling, heavy-duty hydraulic winches pull the main line back on board. Crew members equipped with gaffs or long poles retrieve each branch line individually. When a colossal squid is hooked, it is usually discovered only as the animal nears the surface. It wraps its tentacles around the line, or the caught toothfish, because these squid can exceed 400–500 kilograms. The crew must act quickly to prevent tearing of the soft mantle. They use a lifting sling or cargo net attached to a crane to bring the animal aboard intact. Once landed, scientific observers and deck officers record detailed biological data: total length, manteau length, sex, and weight. Some specimens are sampled for tissue and stomach content, contributing to Antarctic ecosystem studies. The majority of viable carcasses are stored in refrigerated seawater tanks or quick frozen in -40 degrees Celsius blast freezers within 30 minutes of landing to prevent tissue autolysis. The operation is highly regulated by the Commission for the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources (CCAMLR). Each vessel must maintain real-time logbooks, GPS coordinates, and bycatch reports. Gear types, hook spacing, and bait choices are standardized to minimize environmental impact and seabird mortality. Every aspect of this process, from line setting to retrieval, is dictated by precision, patience, and strict safety measures. Crew members work in rotations of 4 hours on, 4 hours off, often battling freezing spray and shifting sea ice while ensuring that every hook is accounted for. It is a combination of industrial discipline and environmental stewardship carried out in one of the harshest working environments on the planet. Once the long lines are fully hauled and the last hooks cleared, the sorting begins immediately on deck. Every animal caught, whether a toothfish or a colossal squid, is recorded, measured, and categorized before freezing. The process is not rushed. It follows a precise sequence required by both the vessel's operating manual and international law. When a colossal squid is brought aboard, it is first inspected for damage, maturity, and sex. The mantle and fin structure are checked for tears that could reduce commercial value. If the specimen is female and found to be carrying mature eggs, the crew documents it thoroughly: mantle length, total weight, location, and water temperature, and releases it back into the ocean whenever the animal is still alive and viable. This procedure is part of the mandatory conservation protocol under CCAMLR Conservation, Measure 91-03, which protects spawning individuals in the Ross Sea Fishery Zone. All retained squid are tagged with sequential barcode IDs linked to the ship's GPS and haul time. Observers, usually marine biologists assigned by national fisheries authorities, verify the data and confirm compliance with bycatch quotas. The permitted bycatch ratio for non-target species such as squid cannot exceed a few % of the total haul, and any deviation must be reported to CCAMLR headquarters in Hobart within 24 hours. Sorting also includes a biological sampling phase. A small section of tissue is cut from the mantle and preserved in ethanol for genetic analysis, while stomach contents are checked to study diet and trophic links. These records contribute to long-term ecosystem monitoring rather than direct commercial use, showing how closely science and industry are tied in these remote waters. All activities on deck occur under strict waste management rules. Nothing organic or synthetic is allowed to be thrown overboard within the CCAMLR management area. Hooks, lines, and even bait residues are kept in sealed containers. Until the vessel returns to port, the regulations are heavy, but the crews accept them as necessary. Without them, the fragile Antarctic ecosystem, where the colossal squid stands near the top of the food chain, could collapse within a single decade. By the time sorting ends, every specimen has a traceable paper trail from the moment it was hooked to the second it entered the freezer. Compliance inspectors later cross-check these records against satellite tracking logs. The system is bureaucratic and demanding, but it ensures that the story of each squid is fully known, not just as a catch, but as part of a living ecosystem that the fishery is legally bound to protect. The annual catch of colossal squid in Antarctic waters is extremely limited. In most years, only a handful of specimens are recorded, usually between 100 and 400 individuals. Depending on weather conditions and longline effort, these numbers are minute compared with other commercial squid fisheries, such as the Humboldt squid in Peru or the Japanese flying squid in the North Pacific, which are measured in hundreds of thousands of tons. Yet the Antarctic fishery's small volume is offset by its extraordinary individual value. A single mature colossal squid can weigh 300 to 500 kilograms, with exceptional specimens exceeding 600. After cleaning and trimming, roughly 60 to 70% of that weight becomes usable meat. The mantle is the most commercially valuable part, dense and mild in flavor, while the arms and tentacles are processed separately for premium markets. In practical terms, a single squid yields around 350 kilograms of edible product, which at export prices of $25, $40 per kilogram, represents a potential value of $10,000 to $14,000 per animal. Each longline vessel operating in the Ross Sea may retrieve 40 to 60 tons of combined catch per voyage, though only a small fraction is squid. Over a full 2-month season, the fleet's total landings might reach 150 to 200 tons of colossal squid biomass, a figure that, despite its modest size, is sufficient to supply the world's niche markets for an entire year. The scale is global rather than local. Most squid caught in the Antarctic are landed in New Zealand or Chile, where deep freeze facilities handle initial processing. From there, shipments move to buyers in Japan, South Korea, and the United States. The largest single buyers are research institutions and seafood distributors specializing in rare species. Because of its limited and traceable origin, the colossal squid has become both a scientific curiosity and a luxury export item. The economic footprint may appear small beside other fisheries, but per kilogram of finished product, colossal squid ranks among the most valuable marine commodities on Earth, surpassing even bluefin tuna in certain auctions. This rarity ensures that the fishery will never scale to industrial volume. Instead, it remains a high-value, low-impact operation dependent on environmental stability and strict oversight. In effect, the scale of the fishery is not measured by tons of meat, but by scientific and symbolic weight. Each recorded catch contributes data to polar ecosystem models. Each preserved specimen expands understanding of a species that spends most of its life unseen. The Antarctic Deep-Sea Fleet thus operates less as a mass production industry and more as a finely tuned intersection of commerce, regulation, and discovery. A rare example where limited yield sustains both science and livelihood. Once sorting is complete, preservation begins immediately, as the biological degradation of cephalopod tissue starts within minutes at ambient temperature. Because deck air temperatures can drop below -10 degrees Celsius and seawater remains near its freezing point, the cold itself slows decomposition, but controlled freezing is still essential to maintain quality and scientific integrity. On board each licensed Antarctic vessel, The preservation process follows a fixed chain. The first step is rapid. Pre-chilling the squid are rinsed in seawater to remove mucus and blood, then transferred into insulated tanks containing recirculating brine held at -1 degree Celsius to 0 degrees Celsius. This stabilizes the surface temperature and prevents freezer burn. Within 20-30 minutes, crew members move the carcasses to the blast freezer units, where air at -35 degrees Celsius to -40 degrees Celsius circulates continuously through high-velocity fans. The goal is to bring the core temperature of the squid mantle below -25 degrees Celsius within 4 hours, minimizing enzymatic softening that would otherwise make the flesh unusable. Large individuals are sometimes sectioned before freezing. The mantle and fins are separated into slabs of manageable size, typically 40-60 kilograms, each wrapped in food-grade polyethylene and stacked on aluminum trays to maximize airflow. Tentacles, arms, and beaks are packed separately, each container labeled with the vessel ID, catch date, and haul coordinate. Scientific observers often request small frozen portions for DNA and isotope analysis, stored in sealed vials alongside the commercial cargo. Upon docking, most landings are offloaded at Invercargill or Littleton ports in New Zealand. There, the frozen product enters shore-based ultra-cold storage, maintained at -50 degrees Celsius until export inspection. The export chain depends entirely on an unbroken cold chain. The containers are equipped with data logging thermographs, and if any temperature excursion above -20 degrees Celsius occurs, the entire lot must be downgraded from food grade to research only. In specialized facilities, selected specimens undergo controlled thawing and cleaning. Flesh intended for consumption is trimmed, and refrozen for shipment to Asia and North America. Scientific specimens are treated differently. They are thawed slowly at 2 degrees Celsius, injected with formalin or ethanol for long-term preservation, and then either dissected for internal study or refrozen for museum display. The handling standards aboard these vessels are among the most stringent in the global seafood industry. Every movement from the crane lifting the squid to the temperature of the brine tank is logged in compliance software linked to CCAMLR databases. This ensures traceability from catch site to retail or research destination. Because colossal squid meat is dense and low in fat, it tolerates freezing without major loss of texture, which makes deep freezing the optimal preservation method. In contrast, smaller squid species often rely on rapid chilling and ice slurry systems. Here, ice would be inefficient and hazardous under sub-zero deck conditions. By the time each container leaves port, its cargo has effectively been through 2 complete cold chain stages and at least 3 levels of inspection. The result is a product that can travel more than 10,000 kilometers while retaining both its commercial quality and scientific data integrity, a testament to how industrial precision and environmental responsibility converge in the modern Antarctic fishery. The colossal squid fishery operates on a scale too small to influence global seafood supply, but large enough to sustain a specialized economic niche across several nations. The combined fleet authorized to fish in the Ross Sea and adjacent sectors numbers fewer than 30 vessels, most registered in New Zealand, Chile, and South Korea, with joint venture participation from U.S. and European firms. These vessels primarily target Antarctic toothfish, but the incidental catch of colossal squid has become a valuable secondary revenue stream. Because of its rarity and the extreme cost of deep-sea operations, the economics of this fishery rely on high per-unit value rather than large volumes. A single voyage typically lasts 6 to 8 weeks, consuming over 200,000 liters of marine diesel and costing upwards of $400. 0 inches. Fuel and logistics alone, crew wages, insurance, and scientific observer fees add another $250. $300. Ling ling ling, bringing total trip expenses close to $700. Ling ling ling. Against those costs, the returns can be substantial. A vessel that records 40 tons of colossal squid meat can gross between $1 million and $1.5 million, depending on market price. When combined with toothfish landings, total seasonal revenue often exceeds $12 million per ship. Though profit margins remain tight due to the complexity of polar operations, the real advantage lies in diversification. Squid sales offset fuel volatility and allow fleets to maintain profitability even in poor fish years. At the crew level, income follows a share system rather than fixed salaries. Deckhands and engineers typically receive between 3% and 5% of net profit after expenses, yielding $35, $60 for a single season. If catches are strong, senior officers and the skipper earn proportionally more, but also shoulder liability for regulatory compliance. Payment is often made only after final export clearance, meaning fishermen can wait months before seeing the results of their work. Onshore, the value chain extends through freezing plants, logistics contractors, and scientific institutions. In New Zealand alone, the processing and export of Antarctic squid contributes an estimated $15 million, $20 million annually in direct revenue, and another $10 million in ancillary services such as maintenance and cold chain logistics. Although small compared with mainstream fisheries, these activities sustain year-round employment for technicians, mechanics, and data analysts linked to the polar fleet. Globally, the market for colossal squid remains boutique. Less than 300 tons enter commercial channels each year, but its symbolic and research significance amplifies its economic weight. Museum acquisitions, biological specimens, and documentary licensing bring secondary income streams, often rivaling direct seafood sales. In some cases, a single preserved specimen has generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in educational and media value. The regulatory structure ensures that profit does not come at ecological cost. Quotas, observer requirements, and full transparency keep the fishery under the category of low exploitation. The rarity itself creates a paradox. The less they catch, the more valuable each animal becomes. The crews accept this trade-off because it guarantees both long-term access and public legitimacy critical assets in an era where overfishing elsewhere erodes trust. In financial terms, the Antarctic squid fishery may be modest, but for those who work it, the income represents the reward for navigating one of the planet's harshest workplaces. For the broader economy, it exemplifies how precision regulation, scientific partnership, and selective harvest can still generate livelihood without exhausting the resource. It is a small but clear proof that sustainability and profit can coexist, provided discipline outweighs greed. In the end, this isn't just about colossal squid, it's about human willpower against nature's extremes. In a place where machines freeze and silence echoes for miles, these fishermen prove what endurance truly means. Every frozen tentacle pulled from the abyss tells a story not of greed, but of survival. Would you choose modern technology or human grit to secure our planet's seafood future? Share your thoughts below, and remember, every bite comes from someone who faced the storm, so you wouldn't have to